Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, and welcome to another monthly update video. That's right guys, we're going into the month of July. We're done with June. Isn't that exciting? We're still into the summer months, and boy, things have been crazy this summer, guys. Lots of stuff has been happening, not just nationally or internationally, but just in the life of Raven. Things have been kind of nuts right now. And we're going to talk about some of that stuff that's been going on. We're also going to talk about stuff to look forward to and what to expect from the channel. There's going to be some good news today. There's going to be some bad news today. And I hope that you're ready for all of it. I will try to be as brief and as clear as I possibly can. But before we can start on the updates, there's a few things we need to talk about. First of all, very important, guys. I cannot do this channel without you guys. Genuinely, I mean it. Y'all views and y'all support is what helps this channel go forward. I could not do it without you, and I want to thank you all so much for your views and helping me push the subscriber numbers all the way up to, I think we're at 31,000, I think. If we're not there, we are incredibly close. I want to thank you guys so much for the support. You have been incredibly awesome to me. But more than just that, you're also helpful to me financially. For those who do not know, I work 3 jobs, and this is just one of them, but I don't make as much money off of YouTube directly as I do genuinely from you guys' donations. And if you guys want to donate and support the channel, there are a few ways to do it. First of all, subscribe or encourage others to subscribe. That helps the algorithm. You can donate via Super Chat. I've had lots of people who do that, and I really appreciate it each and every time you do it. You can go to my Patreon store and become a patron, donating up to $1 a month. And hey, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but even just $1 a month really helps out. That link will be in the description. And you can get some cool merch by going to my Teespring store and purchasing some merchandise. Some of that is on the screen right now. You can go down there, get something really cool, and do it quick because I might be taking down my Teespring store sometime in the future and looking to find another merch store online because Teespring's been giving me a lot of problems lately. And not a lot of people have used Teespring lately, and not a lot of people have bought anything on Teespring, so I'm wondering if I shouldn't move on from that, but that's a different story altogether. We can talk about that some other time. But y'all's donations and y'all's support is crucial to the success and survival of this channel. I want to thank you so much to those of you who have donated, and for all of you who have subscribed and continue to watch me. You guys are the best. Now, before we get into the updates, there are a few people I want to thank, because this channel could not exist by me alone. I would love to sit here and tell you that it is all my hard work that keeps this channel going. It is not. There are a couple people I want to thank. First, I want to thank my brother Lark, who has been helping me with this channel for so long. I don't thank him in most of my update videos because it kind of goes without saying, but I feel like I do need to thank him. He helped me out a lot with streams by being a moderator and just kind of watching the streams in the background and reading stuff out to me. He helps me sit down and talk about ideas and work out stuff all the time. Lark is just an all-around awesome little brother to have. I don't know how far the channel would go without him, so I want to thank him first and foremost. Next, I want to thank my 2 artist friends who you've seen a lot whenever I do thumbnails, Hannah and Jay. Hannah and I have been friends for, man, it's been so long. I think I've been friends with her since I started college. Very friendly person, very upbeat, very energetic person. Hannah and I don't live in the same state, but we talk to each other maybe every day, maybe every other day. We try to keep in touch with each other because her home life is a mess in and of itself, but we work it out with each other. I'm always there to support her, just like she's there to support me and this channel. And what's great about her, guys, is she is, not only is she a great artist, and you can see her art going across the screen, not only is she a great artist, she's all around a great person because she has helped me through a whole lot of difficulties. She's been very supportive of me, and even though she's not very into my For Honor stuff or Dead by Daylight stuff or anything like that, she still watches all my streams and supports me because she cares about what I do. And it means a lot to me that she does that. Hannah's just a really great friend. She has an Instagram page. The link to that is in the description. Go check it out and support Hannah. Just an all-around really good person, really great person. See if you want to commission her, if you like her work. And yes, many people point this out. She always draws me as a girl. There are lots of reasons for that. The first one being it's a joke between the two of us from way back when. And the second reason being we just both think it's funny at this point, and we just want to keep the joke rolling. Don't read too deeply into it. It's just a part of the fun between the two of us, so don't worry too much about it. I'm just glad that she still draws pictures for me in the first place because we've been doing this for so long. Thank you, Hannah. You're just an all-around great friend to have. Probably my best friend that I do have, and your art is incredible, but I really appreciate you for more than that. All right, and then the second artist friend I want to talk about is Jay. Now, Jay and I haven't been friends as long as I have been with Hannah, but Jay he might as well be a brother to me. He is just a wonderful person. He is my accountability partner. And what that means in a Christian sense is that we're both Christian men who, whenever we stumble, whenever we have struggles, we know we can talk to each other and can work it out together. Jay is genuinely one of the strongest Christians I've ever met, despite only being a year younger than me. He could run circles intellectually around most pastors that I know, and that's saying a lot. He's also one of the most upbeat and friendly people I know. It doesn't matter if he's having a tough time or if he's upset. Anytime I call him or anytime he calls me to talk, he always just sounds so upbeat, so happy, so enriched with the Spirit. He's just a great person to get to know. In fact, I want him to watch some of my LED videos and just go off on them because I know he would. But more than all that, obviously, he's a fantastic artist. You've been looking at some of his art going across the screen. Jay is a comic artist, a professional comic artist. He's actually published some comics and some storybooks. He's just an all-around awesome artist. He does some great action scenes. I think he's a little too hard on himself sometimes based on the way he talks about his own art, but genuinely, he does really wonderful work. He's the one who designed the Ravenlord design, and he's helped me with a lot of other stories like Nomad and Troy and Frost. He's a very creative person, and he's also a budding singer and short story artist. Like, he's done some really great stuff. I'm very impressed with him, and if you want to commission him, because that's how he makes his primary form of income, his link to his Instagram will be in the description as well. Go support him and Hannah. Hannah, Jay, you both are crucial to this channel, not just because of your art, although it is appreciated, but because of your friendship to me and how much you support me and everything I do. I hope that I've been a good friend to both of you guys. Thank you both so much for what you do. That's all I wanted to say. All right, shill is over. On to the update video. So, what's going on, guys? What is up in the life of Raven, right? All right, so let's get the personal stuff out of the way. July is going to be busy. First of all, I'm going to be returning to work at Longhorns. That's the big plan right now. Because the problem is, with me no longer substitute teaching, I no longer have a regular form of income. YouTube only pays me once a month, and that's not enough. I need to be making more money regularly, so I'm going to be going back to Longhorns. I'm also going to be getting more involved in my young adult ministry at church as a leader and as a teacher. And they usually meet on weekends and on Tuesdays. So I'm going to be busy then on Tuesday evenings, Saturdays, and Sundays working with the young adult ministry. And I'm also going to be visiting some old friends and family because we're going to be having family come down to visit some. We're going to be having friends moving around. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on in July. Not all of it super important, but all of it time consuming. So keep that in mind. And I want to break this down for you guys. The schedule that's going to be going down for me is going to be interesting. I don't know for sure yet what the schedule is going to look like for me, but ideally what the schedule will look like is Monday through Friday, I'll be working lunch shifts at Longhorn. So that means from about 11 o'clock in the morning to probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll be working at Longhorns, and I'll have my evenings free to work on my TEFL, which is my classes to become a teacher overseas. And then on weekends, I'm going to just try to take those days off from Longhorn so that I can either, work on streams or videos and stuff, or I can work with the YAM group, the Young Adult Ministry, because that's when we mostly meet. So it's going to be very hectic, very busy. Videos are probably going to come out a little bit slower than normal, but that's just the nature of the beast. We'll deal with it as we go forward, okay? Awesome. Okay. Another thing I want to let you guys know, Lark's birthday is the 25th of July. So we may have to do something special for Lark. We may do like a special Lark stream or something on the 25th, or maybe sometime around that, because I want to celebrate Lark's birthday. He's a big part of the channel, so let's celebrate that together. Also, about the TEFL, I brought it up a second ago. For those who aren't aware, I'm taking classes so that I can be a teacher to students overseas. I'm thinking in Japan or Korea or something like that. And I'm having to take this series of classes. I'm about a fifth of the way through, and I expect to be done sometime in December, maybe January, if I have to get an extension. But it's going well. It's going surprisingly well, and I've been enjoying it for the most part. So I really look forward to wrapping that up and getting started with my new career. Also, another thing that I want to let you guys know, I have been getting back into writing again. I've been writing a lot more on my website on DeviantArt. I've been working on some new stories like The Sorceress, Priceless, a Star Wars story, and the Edenite Chronicles. So if you guys are interested in any of my writing and want to go support me on another website, that is a place to go do it. So I've been doing a lot more writing lately, and that makes me happy because I missed writing. And oh wait, you know what? That's a great segue. Writing. I have a new channel. That's right. Last month I started a brand new channel. For those of you who don't know, it's called The Ravens Writing Room. Now, what's the story behind this channel? Well, to put it simply, on this channel, I put a lot of stuff like video games, history, response videos, and also writing stuff. Now, people were telling me, you got a lot of cool stuff on the channel, but maybe it's a bit too much. So why don't you move some of it, your writing content, to a new channel? So I did. And so now the Ravens Writing Room is starting to take off. It's already about 460 subscribers. Not a whole lot, but hey, it's something. And I'm doing a lot of writing stuff there. I've been in the process of moving stuff over to this new channel. The link to that will be in the description. I would love it if you guys went and subscribed to it to help it get popular and help it hit the algorithm so that it can begin making some traction. For those of you who want to know what's on there, it's already got the first chapter of Nomad. It's got the first chapter of Troy and Frost on there. It's got 2 entries of the Death Diary series. It's got 2 story sharing videos, and it's got 2 Ravens Writing Room videos, including one that has not been released yet on this channel. So yes, there's a brand new Ravens Writing Room on that channel that has not been released on this channel. Definitely go check it out. Would love your guys' thoughts on that. But there's more stuff coming to that channel. Fantastical History is going to end up being moved to that channel, and I might be adding to Fantastical History. You don't know. I've been thinking about it. There are going to be some story reviews. I'm going to talk about some short stories and books and movies. I'm going to be reviewing them. Character and world building discussions. We may practice building characters and world building together. Don't know how I'll do that yet. We'll think on it. And I'll be writing some more short stories. That'll be awesome. And also, there's something new there that you guys have not seen yet. The Raven Lord lore. That's right. I'm doing something where I'm basically taking my avatar, the Raven Lord, and building a whole lore around him. Like a world, a lore. It's really cool. Lark was a big part of getting this started. There are already 2 parts out. What do you guys think about it so far? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the Raven Lord lore, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So hit me up in the comments. Now, streaming schedule. Moving on from that to my streaming schedule. Y'all been noticing that I've been streaming a lot more, and there's a reason for that. With more time I have in the summer, I would like to be able to stream more frequently. So here is how it's looking for regular streaming. Thursdays are dedicated to Persona 5 Royal. I am very shocked that Persona 5 has gotten as much attention as it has, and we will continue doing Persona streams until interest falls. So we finished Kamoshida's arc. People were very excited, wanted me to do the Madarame arc, so we're going to do that. And then if people are still interested, we'll move on and on and on. But once interest falls, once people say, we had our fun, let's move on, we'll drop it. But until then, Persona 5 will be on Thursdays. Fridays will always be dedicated to For Honor, because that is For Honor Friday, and I want to continue carrying on that tradition. Saturdays will be dedicated to Mass Effect. We've been working on Mass Effect 2, and it's been going a lot slower than Mass Effect 1, but we've been having our fun, haven't we, guys? I can't wait to keep going with that. That is such a fun series. Sundays are going to be wild days. We could end up playing anything. We could be playing Persona, For Honor, Mass Effect, or something totally different. Who knows? So definitely show up for all those days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will try to stream all those days unless something comes up with work or something comes up with the young adult ministry. If any of those things interfere, I will of course let you guys know, but that is the streaming schedule as of right now. Sound good? Sound good. I'll make some amendments as we go forward. Now, enough about that. Let's get into the topics you really want to hear about. The stuff you came for. What's going on with the content, Raven? All right, here we go. Let's start with For Honor. All right, so in the month of July, For Honor will be releasing its new hero. I'm going to go ahead and answer a few questions. The first question that I get asked is, who do you think the new hero will be and what will they fight with? If my guess is right, I believe it will be an Aztec Jaguar Warrior with a Maquito Sword Club. Raven, you don't know it's a Jaguar Warrior. It could be an Eagle Warrior. You're exactly right. I don't know. But I'm willing to bet it's Jaguar because Jaguar is the most iconic and pop culture popular. So my opinion is it will be a Jaguar Warrior, but I'm willing to bet that it will have like a helm that's an eagle helm or what have you. Like they'll try to mix it up a little bit, I'm sure, in the cosmetics. So my guess, Aztec Jaguar, Maquito Sword Club. Now the next question I get asked is, will you be doing a Heroes in History on the hero? Of course I will. Like, it's not like I've done it on every other hero. Why would I stop doing it now? If you're like, oh no, I did it on every other hero, I just don't feel like doing it on the Aztecs, right? So I will be doing it. I'm going to do a Heroes in History on it, but give me time. The hero's got to be released. I need some time to look over the hero. We're going to have some fun with it. Don't you worry. I will do a Heroes in History. Also, and here's the sad news, I can't promise that I will be able to do a Warrior's Den live response video the day of the Warrior's Den reveal. Mostly because I don't know what my work schedule will be. I'm going to try to negotiate for that day off. If I cannot, then I'm sorry, but work takes priority. That's the nature of the beast. However, I'm willing to bet that Havoc will do a response video to it, or Slanderous will do a response video to it. Go watch their videos and support my boys. Those both are solid content creators, and I definitely trust Havoc and Slander to cover it. So, hey, go check it out. They'll probably give you some interesting insight, but I'm going to try to do a response video. Okay? Awesome. Okay, thoughts on Vela. I released a 2-part video where I talked about the lore of Vela and analyzed the lore. I've had a lot of people come after me saying that I didn't quite understand what was going on, or there were things that they wish they could have seen. Let me be very clear. I like Vela's design. I think it's a cool design, and of all the heroes so far, she's definitely got the best characterization. Her characterization is on point. The lore itself failed in part 3. I had a couple people say, nah man, it was scary, it was good, you just don't understand. I think that it was fine. In fact, I think it was the best lore so far. You're free to think that. I'm just saying what my big problems with it, and I think that there are problems with it. That's all there is to it. But if you like Vela, great, I'm glad you like Vela. I like Vela. I think it's a good design. I think it's a really cool design. And like I said, the first 2 parts were pretty solid. It was just the third part of her story that really failed. But hey, you know what? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'll take that. I'll take a 2 out of 3 lore story. And speaking of the lore is right now, as I've said in 2 videos now, pretty sad. It's in a pretty sad state. There are ways they could fix it. There are ways that they could pick up this lore and fix it. But right now they're following a very typical, as one of my fans pointed out, very Marxist view of history, where there's this one evil upper class who is beating up on the lower class, or the lesser, or the weaker, and then those weaker ones rise up and revolt, and that's basically each season. Now, it's not every season, obviously, because I don't think that was the case with Maiko's season, but regardless of that, we've seen that with Horkos for a while now. They go in and mess something up for another culture that's weaker than them, that other culture rises up and fights back. It gets very repetitive. You know, one person pointed this out, and I think it's a very true statement. One of my fans pointed this out. One of the reasons the Wulin was such a unique season was because Heathmore didn't do anything to piss off the Wulin. They just showed up. And they made so much ruckus and caused such damage that it shook Heathmore a little bit. That's a way to introduce a faction, not as a, oh, we need vengeance for what you did to us. No, more like a powerhouse that showed up and said, hey, we're here to kick your ass. And then we go, oh, crap. You know, that's a great way to introduce heroes in a faction. Maybe they could do that again. Who knows? Now, I do get asked a lot about my thoughts on the Aztecs as a concept in the game. On the one hand, I think it's cool. There are a lot of great things you can do with an Aztec cosmetic idea. Like, we've already seen some of it with the snake motif and some of the weapon skins. They look really neat. And the Aztecs do have a very rich and interesting and bloody culture, so there's a lot you could go into there. But I also think it's a little silly because, kind of like what I said with the Medjai and the like, you're dealing with Stone Age warriors. Now, granted, Medjai is more of an Iron Age or Bronze Age warrior, but no, the Aztecs are Stone Age. They wouldn't stand a chance against most of the heroes in For Honor, historically speaking. But, I mean, then again, For Honor doesn't try to be historical in its combat, so, hey, anything can happen. I think it's fascinating. I think it's a unique idea. I'm interested to see what this new hero is like and what the rest of the season holds. Right now, though, I'll be honest, like, right now it's just an interesting concept. Not a great concept, not a bad concept, just... It's kind of like when I saw it, it was kind of like, oh, cool, neat. So let's see where you go, you know, that kind of thing. It's not like when I saw the Heretic season trailer. With Heretic season trailer, with the Inquisition stuff, it was like, oh man, this looks good. With this, it's kind of like, oh, neat. You know, it's one of those things. Executions graded is very close to done. We've got to do Griffin and Kyoshin and the Outlander, so that's 5 more executions graded to go. And of course, we'll eventually have to do the Aztec heroes executions graded when he comes out, so I guess you could say we have 6 to go. And then when I'm done, yes, to answer the question I get asked ad nauseum, I will review the non-unique executions, the universal executions, the ones that everyone has, if I have them. Because there are some universal executions that were limited time that came out that I just didn't have the steel to buy or wasn't interested in buying them. But if I have the execution, or if it's available to me, I will review it. Okay? Okay, awesome. I also want to apologize that my Inquisition video going over the history of the Inquisition didn't get completed in time. I just ran into too many things going on and I let the project get away from me, so don't expect that. I'm probably going to put that on the back burner. If we have any return of Ying Chen or any other real push for the Inquisition video, I will bring it back out again. And finally, to answer the question I've been asked a little bit, what are my thoughts on the Lawbringer testing grounds? I have no opinions one way or the other. To be perfectly honest, it just all looks the same to me. Lawbringer was way too strong in the first testing grounds, and now he isn't nearly as strong, but I don't have any other thoughts to say about it right now. Until I see his finished product, maybe then I'll give my thoughts, but as of right now, I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. So that's all I have to say about the testing grounds in that regard. We'll have to see the next Warriors Den to see if anything else changes. But that's all I got to say on For Honor right now. Very excited to keep going with that. I love my For Honor Fridays. I love doing my Executions Graded videos. Looking forward to the Heroes in History coming up. A lot of fun stuff coming this July, right? Awesome. Okay, let's go into the next thing. Dead by Daylight. All right, so with Dead by Daylight, I want to congratulate Dead by Daylight, first of all, for their 7th year anniversary. Dead by Daylight's been around for 7 years, guys, as long as For Honor. That's pretty impressive, I must say. Especially considering the DVD, I would consider one of the most toxic games I've ever played. It is incredible. There is a lot of infighting amongst the community. There's a lot of craziness that goes on behind the scenes. The fact that it's lasted 7 years is very impressive, I've got to say. Yeah, and y'all might have noticed that last month in June, I released a lot of DBD videos, and that was mostly to celebrate the fact that it's 7 years old now. And hey, I'm proud of them. Good job, DBD. But don't worry, this month I'll slow down a little bit. We're going to be going into the next 2 Survivors and Killers pretty soon. A Survivor's going to be first and then a Killer. And many people ask, how do I do it? I do it in order of release, like an order of release, with a few exceptions. I know that I did Pinhead and the Onryo out of order, but that was just because one of them was for Halloween and the other one was, I was just so excited to talk about it. But I'm trying to catch up with Dead by Daylight. I'm trying to get more caught up with the Killers and Heroes and with the lore and with the overall style of it. It's very complicated, but I've been enjoying it. I'll say this, though. A new Killer and Survivor came out. I'm not impressed with either of them. The Singularity is kind of confusing to me. I understand that they're going to fix him up a little bit. Good. He needs it. Because as of right now, I'm not a big fan of him. His power is confusing, and it feels counterproductive. I'm also going to be talking about my favorite killer coming up, The Spirit. That'll be a lot of fun. And for those of you who are wondering my favorite survivor, it is Kate Denson, but I already talked about her. So yeah, not a lot to say about Dead by Daylight. I'm going to do a few more videos, maybe 1 or 2 this next month, but I'm going to be slowing down a little bit. I know that I did a whole lot of that. We'll be slowing down a little bit. All right, Dead by Daylight over. Let's move on to the next topic. Assassin's Creed Ranked. Okay, where do I go with this? Valhalla. I'm about halfway through with Valhalla. I've been playing through it. I'm about halfway through with the game. And I'll be honest, so far the grade is better than Syndicate, but it's still not great. I got some problems. I got some real issues with Valhalla, and I'm sure that doesn't surprise any of you. It's so exhausting. I had to take a break because it was just wearing on me. But we will get Valhalla done. We will do a ranked video. Maybe this month. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. We might have to wait till August. As for Assassin's Creed Mirage, everyone's been asking, are we going to play Mirage? Are we going to play Mirage? Are we going to rank Mirage? We'll see. We will see if we're more invested in that later when it comes out. Right now, I don't know. I'm not all that interested in going into it. Lark says he may play it, and more power to him if he does. I'm not all that interested in Mirage right now, I'll be real honest. And then there's Assassin's Creed Red, which is supposed to take place in Japan, I guess. 2 things. Number 1, Ghost of Tsushima did it first, and probably better. And 2, I have absolutely no interest at all. I know that's shocking. I couldn't care less. It's one of those things that, you know, Chris Raygun, one of my favorite YouTubers, released a video where he said that that to him Halo is dead. If they released a new Halo game, he would not care. I feel the same way about Assassin's Creed. Unless they release something mind-blowing, I just don't care. I just do not care. Assassin's Creed, as far as I'm concerned, is dead. They've gone way too deep into the Isu nonsense, and I just can't stand it anymore. So Valhalla will be the last one I genuinely care about, and we'll see where things go from there. But expect the Valhalla ranked coming out either this coming month or next month. All right. Next up, Lark's Lamentations. Lark is currently working on his Fallout 4 The Minutemen Lamentations. It's been one that's been popularly requested of him, and I know that he's excited to get it done because he's kind of become the Fallout guy, hasn't he? He's been doing a lot of Fallout videos, but he knows the lore well enough to talk about it. And also, I want to say this about Lark's Lamentations. It's really grown in popularity, and I'm very proud for that, but there have been a lot of people who've been getting unnecessarily hostile with Lark. We had at least one person that I can think of last month come after Lark in a very rude and disrespectful way. Look, you don't have to agree with Laura's conclusions. That's fine. You're free to disagree. But keep things civil in the comments section. You want to come after me, that's one thing, but don't go after my brother. Do not go after my brother. I get defensive in that regard, and I have no problem banning people who mistreat my brother, okay? Let's all be civil here so that doesn't have to happen, all right? All right, cool. All right, next up. Rainbow Six Cringe and Win. I am so sorry I was so slow with that series this last month. I will work on it more next month. And what's funny is I've got the footage I need for the next operator. I just haven't sat down to read his lore yet. Next up is Thermite. Yeah, I'm going to do Thermite next as the next attacker. And then after Thermite, I'm going to do Meaty the Meatball Maestro. And then after Meaty the Meatball Maestro, I'm going to do Hibana. So I know who I'm doing. I know the list in order that I'm doing it in. I just have not sat down to just do it. Now, I know that some people are wondering, have my opinions changed on Fenrir, the new operator that came out that I kind of teased? His guns are useful. I'll give it that. And his operator art looks a lot better than his actual character, who looks very weird. The Rainbow Six lore is weird. When I read individual operator lore, it can be pretty good. When I see the overall lore, I go, what? That's why it's Rainbow Six Cringe and Win. Now, I've also been asked by people, have I made my own operators? And if I have, would I make a video about those? I have made my own operators. And my question about the making my own video is, would you watch those videos if I made them? If the answer is yes, then sure, I'll make a video sometime. If the answer is no, I've got other stuff to do. Okay? Awesome. So that's about it on Rainbow Six Cringe and Win. I'm looking forward to doing Thermite next, and then Maestro, and then Hibana. Gonna be fun. All right, next up, response videos. All right, we got to clear the air here. We got to talk about this. All right, first of all, LED. I'm still fed up with them. I figured out their pattern, and it doesn't impress me. I want nothing to do with them right now. I was sent a video of theirs where they say that Iron Man is satanic, and I'm like, oh, big shocker. You think another popular hero that people love is somehow satanic? Okay, sure. I'm just done with them. Unless they do something outlandish, I'm done with them. I'm not talking about them anymore. It's not a disrespect to you guys, because I know you guys like to see me rant and ramble, and maybe beggars shouldn't be choosers. I don't have a whole lot to respond to lately, but hey, if they do something really, really bad, I'll respond to them. But other than that, I'm kind of done with LED. I've had my fill of that. Now, next thing, the One Piece video. I don't think I've ever had a more controversial response video take, and I want to clear the air about this. I want to say my thoughts clear and openly. My thought is this. I sincerely hope that this show makes everyone who is excited for it happy. I hope that you all, the people who are excited for the show, know that the last thing I want is to shame something with One Piece on the title. I love One Piece. One Piece is my favorite shonen anime. I've watched it for a long time. I'm all caught up on it. It is a fantastic series for the most part. I have some issues with certain parts, but that's nitpicking. That's another thing altogether. But because I love One Piece, that means I'm also critical and defensive of One Piece. And I hope y'all understand that. I've been told a lot that I am too negative, too pessimistic, that Oda's running the show, like all that kind of stuff to try to deflect or to defend, and that's fine. I'm glad y'all are excited for the series. I hope it gives you exactly what you're hoping for. But I just want to say these three things. Number one, I'm not trying to attack you for liking the show, nor do I mean to discourage you from watching the show. Watch it. I hope you enjoy it. Two, I'm aware now that Oda is involved in the show, and I think that's great. I think that says a lot that Oda has given his thumbs up to the project. But please know that is also a dangerous defense to make, because it's going to create a schism. And we can get into that another time if you want. But please understand that I'm not here to diss on Oda. See, I think that's where the problem comes in. By saying Oda's running the show, if you aren't supportive of the show, you're somehow disrespecting Oda. And that may not be what you mean, but that's what a lot of people are going to take from it. So I already see like a schism happening. People who are saying just because Oda's name is on it doesn't mean it's going to be good. And then other people are saying Oda's name is on it, therefore it is authentic One Piece. There's this schism now where people are divided on that. I'm kind of in the middle here. I'm glad Oda's name is on it, but I also want to be wary, because this is One Piece. It's something I love. I want to be careful with it, you know? And then the third thing I want to say, I still love One Piece. The anime and the manga, I still love One Piece. This live action show, I don't think it'll be anywhere close to that. But If you guys enjoy it, enjoy it. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I'm going to talk about. We're done with the One Piece stuff, okay? Okay, awesome. Now, I also want to answer with this. I have this channel on my Discord where people can send me their video topics and ask me to respond to these videos or articles. I don't respond to every video or article that I get sent. I only respond to videos or articles that I know I can get mileage out of. Some material I'm sent that I get, which is, I definitely find it wrong or silly or irritating, but it's not something I can really discuss without just repeating myself over and over on the same point. Like, I may be sent an article that I know is objectively bad, but it's just every argument I could make would just be the same line over and over, and I'm not going to do that. That would just be being repeated, and I don't have any intention of being that guy, you know? So I can't accept every response video topic that gets sent my way, but don't stop sending them my way. If I don't see the article or video, I won't know if I can respond to it, okay? Awesome. All right, well, I think that about wraps everything up. I hope you guys appreciated everything I had to say, but before we go, the last thing of the day, do the jingle.
I've seen unspeakable horrors, and I know pain. It's time for the question of the day.
Yes, that's right, folks. It is once again time for the question of the day. This is where I take your questions and give them an answer, usually a long-winded answer at the end of the video. And usually I get these questions from friends or family, but today I got a question from one of you guys, from Black Furio, I hope I'm saying that right, Black Furio 2381, who asked a great question. What in your life led you to enjoying stories and writing stories? Well, thank you very much for the question, Black Furio. That is an excellent question. So what in my life led me to enjoying stories? I think that I've always loved stories. I was this little kid who loved sitting on the floor in front of my granddad or uncle or father or who have you, and just listening to them tell stories. Story time was my favorite thing in elementary school. I loved when they would say, all right, put down your pens and pencils, pull out a book, it's time for silent reading. Every other kid groaned. I was going, yes, because I loved reading books. I loved watching movies. The earliest movie that I can remember in my head watching was The Little Mermaid. And I loved it. It was a funny thing. I could memorize certain scenes from the movies very quickly. In fact, I have memorized every song from The Little Mermaid. I'm not going to sing any here because I don't want to subject you to that ear rape. But more to the point, I love stories. I love dialogue. I love hearing tales told. And there came a moment when I was in middle school where I wanted to tell my own stories, where I said, I want to write my own stories. I want to tell my own stuff. But I love comic books, right? So I decided to make a comic. I decided to draw superhero stories in comic format. The problem with drawing comics in school, though, is you get caught doodling very easily, and the teachers call you out, and that's embarrassing. So how do I get away with telling stories in class? Well, I had to give up the art part, which was probably a good idea. My art is not that good. And instead, I focused on writing stories, just pen to paper, because the teachers never catch you then. They just think you're taking notes. And boy, they must have thought I was taking a hell of a lot of notes. Like, oh my gosh, he's filled up 3 pages full of notes. That's a dedication. In reality, I'm telling a story that they have no idea about. My teachers used to say of me, I don't know where Raven goes when he's in class, but it must be a nice place because he spends a long time there. And yes, I go, as my father would say, ya halfway to hoopla. You know, it's my own Neverland. I just disappear into my own head and have an adventure in my own imagination. It's the way I was. It's the way my head is wired. I'm an overly creative, imaginative person. So obviously there came a point where I wanted to start writing my own stories and telling my own stories. I think I've always just been fascinated by the fictional. I've always been fascinated by the art of storytelling, adventure, romance, fear, anxiety, stuff like that. There's been a lot about that have always felt captivated me, particularly stories of good versus evil, of the strong rising up to protect the weak. I think that's something that I've always enjoyed. I've always kind of envisioned like heroes who defend the weak, and I think that's something that's missing in modern day superhero stories. I'm not joking here. I think and I may do a whole Ravens Writing Room on this topic, but I think one of the reasons why superhero stories are dying in modern Marvel and DC is because creators have genuinely forgotten what superheroing is in the first place. They think that superheroes are just people in cool outfits with cool powers who beat up bad guys, cause big explosions, and have fun fight scenes. What they've forgotten is that superheroes protect people. You know? Like, they show scenes where, like, characters will just hurt. Well, like, they'll just cause explosions. And the explosions look really cool, but they don't think about the damage that causes. I think a good example was in the Black Widow movie. When Black Widow's younger sister, I forget her name now, she launches a rocket launcher, and the rocket hits a mountain, and it causes an avalanche that's going to bury an entire prison in snow. And instead of coming to terms with the ramifications of that action, of how absolutely atrocious and evil that is to just bury hundreds of innocent people in snow, they have a laugh about it and go, cool. Like, you know, like, that's not superheroing. That's just, you know, superpowered people or super skilled people hurting each other and hurting innocents in the process. Yeah, but they're not innocents, they're prisoners. Shut up with that. They're not involved with this fight, and you involved them. So I wouldn't even go that route. But my point being, there was a time when superheroes protected people. And I miss those days, because that's what really got me into superhero stories. Stories, to me, are an outlet for creativity. They are an escape as well. That is why I love stories so much. That's why I enjoy them. It's why I want to write them. It's why I want to tell stories, because they have always been my escape from reality. They've always been my means of expressing myself creatively. That, I think, is where all the writing comes from and where all the stories come from. But I hope I could answer your question. That was a good question. I really liked it. And that about wraps up this monthly update video. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget to support Hannah and Jay. Their links to their Instagram pages will be in the description. Don't forget to check out the new YouTube channel and subscribe. That, too, will be in the description. And just thank you guys so much. I really don't know all that July is going to have to offer, but I look forward to it all the same. I look forward to what's coming. I hope you guys are too. Thank you guys so much for supporting me in this channel. You guys are genuinely the best. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Take care.